Hey guys, welcome back to Study Vlog, episode number 12. Today we're gonna learn on how to change subjects in formulas. We have three types of difficulty, so let's start with the first one. V equals to U plus AT. Make A the subject. Okay, first of all, when you're doing a question like this on your exam paper, it's best for you to first rewrite the question. Because sometimes, uh, let's say some exam papers are not written this way. Sometimes they can be in word problems, which you will find difficulty finding the equation over and might mix up. So the best thing to do is write the equation from the start. Secondly, we want to move this 80 to the left. And how do we do that? First of all, we can swap these two places. So instead of V, this will be U plus 80, and this would be V. Alright, now we want to have 80 alone. So we need to move this U to this side. In order to do that, we must subtract U from both sides because we want to get rid of this plus U. So I write with a different color here. Minus U, minus U. So U minus U is basically 80. So V minus U is V minus U. Now, how do we separate the A and the T? A T basically means A times T. And the opposite of times is divide. So for this one, we have to divide T. And this whole thing also we must divide T. So AT divided by T, that would remain an A. V minus U divided by T is V minus U T. A mistake a lot of people have written down for this. Uh, Let me show you again. U plus AT. Okay, maybe I'll write it in a different color. This is the mistake. A lot of you guys waste time by putting the AT at the front. So it will be V minus AT equals to U. Then you have to put the V to the back. Oh, V to the back. The V to the back. So it will become negative AT equals to U minus V. You see, now we have a negative, so it wastes more time, and this would be AT equals to V minus U because we want to change the symbols, all that. Then finally, this is where you get your V minus U over T. Do you see how much you've wasted? How much space you've wasted? How much time you wasted? It's 2 lines you've wasted. Okay, another mistake over here is that u plus at equals to v, right? A lot of mistake here is that you guys forgot to change the sign or whatever. So let's say this is plus u, then you would bring the plus u here, but you forget to minus u. So in the end, it'll be 80 equals to v plus u. But this term is actually wrong. If we plus u on the right side, that means we must add u to this side as well. So instead of this would have been 2u plus 80 equals v plus u. You see? Hmm. Now, another mistake is, let me just quickly write this. When you guys divide, you don't divide the entire equate expression. So sometimes you may write v t minus u or v minus ut, which is wrong because when I want to divide t from here is the entire a. So I want to divide from this entire thing. So instead of this or this, it should become this. Okay. So yeah. So basically, for this type of question, don't waste space. Whatever you do on the right must happen on the left. And lastly, be careful when dividing. Alright, I hope these three things you can remember it to memory. Now let's move to the next question. This time I will give you guys 1 minute to solve it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, start. Time's up. Okay, remember to type down in the comments if you got this question right or wrong. And if you got it wrong, I hope you can tell me how you did what's your mistake so that you can redo it the next time and remember it. Alright? Now let's look at this one. We want to make W the subject. So, like we did for this question, we'll swap. When we swap these two, we'll swap P and the 2L and 2W. So this would be 2L plus 2W equals to P. Now, we want to get rid of this 2L, so we must subtract 2L. And remember, whatever we do on the left or the right, we must repeat for the other side. So let me write it with another color, minus 2L minus 2L. So this would be 2W equals to P minus 2L. Now we want this 2 to become a 1. So we must divide by 2. So if we divide by 2 here, we must divide by 2 here. So this would become W equals to P minus 2L over 2. And there we go. So actually, this question here is quite similar to the one on top. But instead of a t, we have a number instead. So likewise, whatever is times by the subject you want, you must divide it in the end and divide the entire thing. Alright? So let's move on to our last question. And remember, I will give you guys 1 minute, same like question number 2. Ready? 3, 2, 1, start. Time's up. Now remember to comment down if you got this question wrong or right. Okay, so we want to make H the subject. First of all, we want to swap these two places to make our life easier. So it'll be half BH equals to A. I want to get rid of this half B. And to get rid of it, we must divide by, oops. To get rid of this, we must divide by half B. But that sounds hard, doesn't it? Actually, the simpler way we can do this is to simplify it. This half BH is actually BH divided by 2, which equals to A. You see what I did there? Now we want to move this 2 over here. This will be times 2 and this will be times 2. Because the opposite of divide is time. So BH equals to 2A. Then we want to get rid of this B, so we move it here and put divide by B. Divide by B. So over here it will be a H and a 2A divided by B. Right, this question is a bit harder than the others, which this is because this thing can be simplified further to be h divided by 2. Alright, so I hope this video allows you to learn from mistakes and as well as I did when I first learned about my mistakes. Okay, that's all for today. Goodbye. Have a nice day.